Hi traders, and welcome to the weekly update. I'm going to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, oil, and silver. So let's get started. We'll start with the S&P. This is the futures contract, the ES for the S&P. So last week we were over here, and I said that that completed 5 waves because we broke the low of the three. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I said that this was like a really quick move down, and I thought it felt more like this was just the A wave. So they pushed it down a little bit more Monday, early Monday, like 1 o'clock. So London session had that quick spike on Monday with the Trump news. Turned out to be nothing, and that was just a B wave. It was a real quick little 3 wave move up, and now we're coming down to complete the 5th wave. So this is ending soon. Don't really know that it's totally done because if I drill in a little bit, 2 hours, you just have 3 waves, 1, 2, and 3. So it could be that this was like a W, X, and a Y, and this 5th wave is, if it's not done, they'll only, maybe just push it down a little bit more, and it'll be just a big WXY, but they could also do like an ending diagonal. So this would be A, B, and now we're in a C wave, and we need 5 waves, and this was 1, this was 2, somewhere around here is going to be 3, and then we're going to get a pretty decent bounce for a 4, and then they'll come down in 5 waves for a 5. So yeah, we're getting close. It's just a matter of if they want to make an ending diagonal or if this is WXY, and we're really close then to this 5 waves being done. And so going back to a 4 hour, I'm still looking at this pattern that I've been saying, that the 3 finished in October, and then we had 3 down, and then so 1, 2, 3, A, B, and now we've got a 5 wave move for C, and that's completing the 4th wave, and then we should be going up soon, uh, up for that 5th wave. So that's the pattern that I'm looking. We'll know soon, because if we get any type of a meaningful correction like down here, and then it kind of comes up like this, so back to, like, say 6,700, it could go higher, but at least up to there, and then it rolls over and breaks that low, then I'm wrong, that this is not an expanding flat, and then this S&P could be making a really, really big correction. So pretty soon we're going to have a clue as to what this whole thing is. For now, I'm holding onto this pattern until we can see this move up. If it's very slow and choppy and not going anywhere, then this is looking like the top is in for a while, and they're making a really big correction. So we'll see. We'll follow this along, but yeah, this 5th wave, like I said, could be a little bit of a bounce for a 4, and still one more down, but this 5th wave should be ending pretty soon. I would think sometime next week it would definitely end. And when we look at the Nasdaq, this is the messy one that is really, really hard to read. Definitely got 3 waves down, and then this big 3 wave move up, and then this whole thing is just very ugly. It's so much bigger than this 1st wave. It's about the same as time wise as the 2nd wave. So it's hard to tell like what this is. The only, like I said, I think last week, that the only pattern that I can see is that this is going to just end up being a W. This whole thing is the X, and then this whole thing is going to be a Y wave. Because so far, all I can see is 3 down, 3 up, and then we're starting, I think, what looks to be like a diagonal. 1, 2, 3. That's 1, three waves, two, and then you got this three waves. And here's the target for the third wave of a diagonal. And they blew right through that, which is fine. So this third wave, is either in or very soon. And then still could get, pretty decent four, but then you're still going to get the five. So just like the S&P, like they could be making an ending diagonal. And so then this whole thing will be, I think, then an A, B, and then C will be over here sometime next week. That fifth wave would end. And that would be, and then this would be a big W, X, and then three wave Y. So it's a really big Y wave. That is the only bullish pattern that I can see. Otherwise, this could be turning into a really big diagonal. And this was just the first wave. The second wave, this third wave will end. And then you're going to get a four. And then you're still going to get another fifth wave down. And then the Nasdaq is in trouble, because then this is just the start of the correction. This is that would be a leading diagonal. So we got a long ways to go. That would take probably 2 to 3 weeks to complete a diagonal. So can't call that yet, but yeah, if you're bullish, you definitely don't want to see five waves. So right now it's just three. So, but just like the S&P, I think there could definitely be a four and then a five. So we'll see how this plays next week. Obviously, the war in Iran just controls a lot right now, and if we look at oil, it's starting to get strong here, but it's hard to read this. I thought this was, and it still could be, I thought this was W, X, Y, and then it came down really fast, and it was a little three wave correction. I mean, it was a deep correction, but there is a little three wave move. So it's hard to tell if that was W. This is, or I think that'd be A. Three waves down is B, and now you do have five waves. One, actually two probably be there. Three, oops, sorry, four, and then this is all five, and can't even. It looks just straight up. So there would need to be three waves. So you might get a pullback and then one more up. So it definitely looks like they'll go break that 102.44 on this chart. And then that would be a diagonal, and then it'd just be a matter of, is that a leading diagonal or an ending diagonal? Because then this could be one and two, and then this is going to be a leading diagonal, get a correction, and go back up, and then that'd be three, and then you could have a 1, 2, 3, and then you get a four, and then we're still going up for five, and we're going up to break that 119. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if they do. I'm assuming that they'll break that 102 high. Do we get just a little correction and still more up, or is this all the correction, like some type of A, B, C, and then you're coming down? So obviously just the Iran situation just controls so much right now. So yeah, just keep focused on that situation, because that's going to dictate what oil does, and then what oil does obviously affects the markets. So let's move on to silver. So silver, I think, drill on to 2R. I think they're making a WXY. It's hard to tell. There is three ways, for this W. So that the four could be in. So this could be over here, and now they've started, but they came down in three ways. That's why I labeled for right now it's an X, but it could be the start of the downside for the five. So we're right in the middle. So this is really anyone's guess as to what the pattern is. It It could be that the 4 is in, and then this is like an A, and they completed the B today, and now they're starting to come down for the C wave of the fifth wave. That's one way to look at it. Or like I said, for right now, I'm just going to leave it as this is W, this is X, and they'll come up probably into this red box, 75, maybe as high as 78, to complete the Y wave, and then 3 waves down, and then that 4 would be over here. So it's either like if they're going to be making a diagonal, which is what I'm leaning towards, 1, 2, 3, and then it's either 4's here or one more up for the 4 and then down for 5. There is the possibility that if we go out to a 4-hour, that this is like the first wave. This is like a W, and this is an X, and then this 3-wave move that could be a Y. So I mean, it's possible that this WXY is in, and now you're actually going to make a really big correction before more down. For right now, I'm leaning towards an ending diagonal, and then we have A, B, and then 5 waves down, and that'd be a C wave, and then silver looks, I think, really good under that low on this chart of 60.95. Somewhere down here looks really good, at least to play for a bounce, and it'd be a pretty significant bounce that you'd want to play for that. So that's what I'm leaning towards, ending diagonal here. And like I said, I see 2 scenarios. Either the 4 is in or one more up for 4. Now, if it gets real strong and gets well above 78, then I don't think this is a diagonal, because then that 4 is just like too big, because we're right at the edge of time-wise, the 4 taking as long as the 2. So yeah, it's either going to go up pretty sharp, pretty quick, complete the Y, and then roll over, or it's just going to roll over from right here, and the 4 is already in actually, and then this line will be over there. So for right now, that's what I'm leaning towards. That one of these is the 4, and we come down for 5. So yeah, playing silver right where it is right now is really hard. I'd be a seller up here, or I'd be a buyer under 60. Yeah, playing it right here is just it's literally just a flip of a coin. You're halfway between the 2 targets, really. So unless you have a strong bias, you might want to like just wait for silver to make that next move, either down or up to what I think is 4, or come down for 5. All right, that's what I see. Hope it helps, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.